All right. Well, it's a good Sunday morning here in March the 9th. They changed time on us overnight. They switched the clocks up to daylight saving time. Excuse me. A little drink of coffee, I guess. So, where I ended up on my last video, storytelling here about my life. It's February of 1981. I'm in the Army. I get to Germany. First week there, straight out to the field along the east-west German border area. Snow's armpit deep. Stayed out for about 10 days, came back in. Went to the old German World War II barracks there in Wildflicken, Germany, or otherwise known as Wildflicken, Wild Place. So we get everything cleaned up from the field. It takes days. Nights are freezing, days are barely above freezing. It's cloudy in the morning, foggy. Then by noon the sun comes out, and then before 5 o'clock it gets foggy again, rainy. And rinse and repeat every day, the same thing all the way through March. April, May, and June, not too bad. July and August, not too bad. By September, we're already back into the cold, foggy, rainy pattern again. It takes a few months, probably 6 to 8 months, and get adjusted to everything. And whole new climate, whole new attitude of the people there. Older folks, World War II generation, great people. Some young people. Met a young lady in Frankfurt. One of my weekend trips where I had pass to get off base. Nice young lady. Doing a job I wouldn't call traditional. Waiting to go to college. Over there, college was free in West Germany, but you were on a waiting list after high school, and your grades had to be good enough too. Really nice young lady, but she was in a profession that could cause some abuse and some damage. She'd probably, let me see, I was 21 at the time, she was 18. No, I was still 20. She was 18. I'm 64, so I'd make her 62 now. She's still alive, who knows. Sweet young lady, slightly chubby blonde. And that's all we're going to say about her. Met a lot of the warm German World War II vets who had worked on the military base there for Germany until this base wasn't discovered. I think it's like 46 or 47 because it was an old SS training base. And nobody ever changed the map, so all the Allies thought that it was just a small village that had been abandoned out in the forest there. And I just rocked along. I did good, and it showed my skills from mechanics and driving, and was appointed to what they call the headquarters. Not company. So you got company squad, the headquarters squad. So I'm driving a 5-ton dump truck. That's how much carrying capacity it had. So that would be 10,000 pounds of dirt, gravel, and or anything else. You know, it was me, an old drunk from Vietnam. He was still a private. He'd go out and go on a bender and not show up for a day or two, and because he was a Vietnam vet, they'd demote him back to a private too, and he'd carry on. Used alcohol for his PTSD drug. And this guy from Long Beach, Washington. I can see his face clean as day, but I cannot remember his name to save my life. This kid couldn't drive. We had Dodge 4-wheel drive pickups that were just from the 70s, and they were wore out. And This guy didn't help the truck. He built a plywood camper looking thing on top of it. He'd be going up a mountain, he'd be gassing on it really hard and spinning everywhere and slamming into trees and all kinds of stuff. I just put the old truck I had, I'd put it 6-wheel drive and just ease up the mountain trying not to slip. And how the heck do you do that? And then he said, we drive down in the ruts in Washington. I said, well, that's just stupid. All these roads are washed out ruts and everything. And I was born and raised here, and we had old battle axe, beat up cars that barely shocks and springs were wore out, so you had to drive on top of the humps, not down in the ruts. Not only would it be smoother, but it'd give you more traction, and you wouldn't drag bottom. And that's how you get stuck. Get down in the ruts, drag bottom of a 5,000 pound vehicle, and next thing you know, you're not going anywhere. So I'm in headquarters, and we had this sergeant, good old Sergeant Jay Gill. Jay Gill was about to, he was about a year and a half at the most away from retiring, but oh my God, what a story. This guy was something else. He had been in, it was like, to make 20, he had a year and a half, so he was in over 18 years, 18 and a half years. In that 18 and a half years, he'd married a young Korean lady when he was stationed there and got a combat patch just for being in Korea on the DMZ. And, you know, but he'd gotten 2 DWIs over the years. And in fact, he didn't have a driving license at the time. And, but he was going to come out of that. He's going to get off his probationary period. The military was going to give him his license back before he retired, all that good stuff. Of course, he'd have to come to the States and take a state test because the states didn't recognize military driving licenses. But for some reason, Sergeant Gill decided he could abuse me and get drunk and come over and talk shit to me and have me going down in my underwear in the middle of the winter watering grass and crap like that. Well, this kept on and just kept escalating. So I went through my rank. I first went to the first sergeant, who's the next sergeant above him, my lieutenant, who was a second lieutenant. He had just gotten out of ROTC and went to Germany. And then I talked to my captain, battalion commander, and then I went to the post commander. I said, I don't want you to do anything to him, just move me away from him, because he's an abusive old drunk, and they knew it. They were just trying to get him to his retirement with as little drama as possible. But it got so bad that I had to come up with a plan of my own, and I'm not really proud of it, but it was necessary. So finding out all these things about him, you know, I researched him, found out about him, and knowing that he was about to get his driving license, I didn't drink at the time, not much, but I would from time to time. It doesn't take much to get me drunk, a beer and a half, and I'm really just not going to get into it, and I start doing stupid things after that point. So I have to watch myself, stay away from that stuff. So you had to have a ration card for cigarettes and hard liquor there. You get all the beer you wanted. I mean, buy it. So I started buying the maximum amount and inviting him up to the barracks room, the other guys, and getting him just soused every time I had the money to do it. He finally got him a 78, 77, somewhere in there, beautiful, bright, metallic blue Thunderbird. Nice big floaty cars. And got his license back. Well, after talking to everybody and not getting any response from them, they just said, F you, we're not going to do nothing. Okay. So one Friday night, he come up to the room, and I had used all my ration card and bought all the hard liquor I could. And I'm just sitting there sipping on a beer all night, and I get him so drunk he couldn't even walk. Take him downstairs, get him to his car. Hold on, Sarge. me get your cap. We got formation in the morning. He was so drunk he didn't realize it's Friday night. So I said, I got to run up to the room and get your cap. So when we go to formation, you won't be out of uniform. He said, okay. Started his car up, let it warm up. It was early fall, rainy, cold as crap. And I just walked inside. Every barracks back then had a front desk when you walked in the front door, and there was a guy that was stationed there overnight to make sure unauthorized people didn't come into the barracks. Well, there was a phone there. I picked it up, dialed the MPs, called them, told them what to look for, where the location of the drunk driving down the street was, and took his cap out to him. See you Monday, Sarge. Sarge takes off. He gets to the end of the street, and 4 MP Jeeps surround him, and he's done for. He never returns. They kicked him out without question, without any. I mean, he was just done. No retirement, no nothing. Don't know what happened to him or his wife and kids. Like I said, I hate to do it, but they wouldn't. The military would not help me, so I had to make a choice. Be a horrible person, but get a horrible person away from me any way I could. And that's what I ended up having to do. But after that, it was funny. That Monday morning, boy, I got ready to riot act all those upper ranking officers that I talked to and asked for relief, and they wouldn't help me. So you're standing at attention, they're all cussing at you and calling you all kind of names and everything in the book, and I understand that. The man was about to retire, but all they had to do was move me away from him, and everything would have been perfect for everybody. But I had memorized the regulation book, the page, the paragraph, the subsection in the military handbook. If you know somebody's committing a crime in the military and you don't say anything about it or do anything about it, you can also be convicted of the same crime. So, and yes, I got him drunk. I took him to his car, but I didn't make him start it or drive it down the road. And he himself knew he had had 2 DWIs. He could have went to his office. They had a cot in there. He could have slept it off. But he chose to drive his car. So later in the day, after I got told him the regulation where, I had to call because he was drunk and he wanted to drive his car. So they released me. They couldn't do nothing for me because I was going by the regulations. I'm sure they could have made something up if they wanted to, but they chose not to. The thing about upper-ranking military that's been in for quite a while, they don't want to rock the boat anyway. They want to quietly return, get the hell out of there, and take that pension. So the old captain, who was my age, he calls me in his office later that day, and he said, just sit down, we're just going to talk. He said, I want to thank you so much. I've been wanting to get rid of that fucking alcoholic since I got here, but I couldn't find a way to do it. I said, well, I hate to do it, but I asked y'all to help me, but you wouldn't. He said, yeah, nobody wants to rock the boat, change the status quo. So that was just the next step. And we'll be talking about my trip to Rome in '82 for Easter. I didn't even know it was Easter. It was still crazy winter in Germany. And we had went down through Austria, the Highway of the Sun, and the Alps in Italy, and through Tyrol and down to Rome. And I toured the Vatican, all the basilicas and the churches and the temples and everything there. It's all the Colosseum. I got to eat some street pizza, which is great, and met some Irish folks. I don't know how I think my grandpa probably spoke a little bit of Irish from way back. I'm in the elevator. We went up to my hotel room there in Rome, and there's these nice looking folks. I mean, they don't even look Irish to me. And they were dark haired, dark eyed, well dressed and kept. They're talking in the elevator, and I looked at them and said, y'all must be Irish. Yeah, but that's a story for another time. We'll get to that. So, and we'll get to some other things, some accomplishments that I'm kind of proud of even after all these years. Like having the only truck in the 1982 or 3 Army Maintenance Company of the Year was my company in Germany. And my truck was the only one that went through the whole inspection without getting any gigs on it, as we called it back then. In other words, they found something wrong. They didn't find anything wrong with my truck. The only one in the Army that year. But we'll talk about that next time. And till then, I'll see you. Enjoy your day. And till next time.